You're listening to the OK Dad podcast.
Please leave your message for
Daddy.
Okay, Dad podcast. Let's start this thing.
Can you not put that on YouTube?
You're listening to my husband talk a lot.
1, 2. Mic check a 1. A mic check a 1, 2. Checking the mic. I got 100% confidence it's gonna work this time. That's how high my confidence is. 100%. 100% it's gonna work. Damn, it's working. It's working. Your screen's up and down instead of horizontal.
Okay,
So you
that's
probably
weird because
just turn your phone and it'll
it is
on Zoom.
It is turned.
Turn it again.
Maybe turn the I have to turn the whole tripod, and then kidding me. I'm not locked in. I'm not locked down.
I mean, if you there you go.
Okay.
Now it flipped.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
That'll be better for the now you just completely I bet you fat fingered that and left. So we just got on a call not too long ago, me and Chris, and it completely went haywire. So this is our second attempt at it. We're just gonna keep rolling from here. And now he's gonna figure out how to just rotate it again. You had it rotated right. So you just need to rotate it, and then your AirPods should be connected. Man, this is how you know we're over 30. I still can't hear you. Your AirPods are in. Your video's up and down. So I had an audio issue. I fixed it on my end. Let's see if you can get your video and audio. I can't hear anything you're saying. It's gonna go on entirely too long. So turn the screen, reconnect to your AirPods. There it goes. It's connecting right now. Connecting audio.
What the hell?
There it is. You're back. Oh, no.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Wow, here we go. Jeez.
All right, man. It only took a couple minutes, but we got back on. So, I mean, what we were trying to get this going at 6, and then it moved to we didn't even contact each other until 7-ish, and then we planned for 8, and now it's already 8:20. If
I
that's not like
some
how
natural
things
daylight.
are after you
That's
have
life.
kids, I don't know what is when you try to plan something, and then it just goes haywire.
Yeah, is that what happened on your end?
Yeah, on my end. So on my end, I'm trying to plan for everything and then make time, and then Oliver just started going crazy, so he needed like a bottle. So we got him a bottle. He calmed down. He's at the point now to where he's done with the smaller bottles, but like he could take 4 ounces and be okay, or he can take 4 ounces and then he'll need 2 more ounces. So like we're at that weird in between right now to where it's like, are you good?
He may or may not want more.
Yeah. So he was like shortly content with the 4 ounces, and then he just blew up and like started wanting more and more and more. So it's at a time where like, should we just put him to sleep right now? Because he still breastfeeds. So we're like, should we?
Yeah, what's the max with that? Like, what's like the absolute, like, I could have cut you off. Yeah.
With like breastfeeding or milk?
Well, yeah, milk. Like just feeding in general. Is that okay? You said 6 ounces or whatever. I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
right?
Like if we were to try to give him more than 6 ounces, he'll start throwing it up just because his stomach can't handle it. Just like if you were trying to eat 5 pizzas, like you would probably throw up. Like it tastes good. It tastes good, so he's trying to eat it. Dude, I got a couple of topics today, and I usually put them on my topic board if nobody ever notices. I just jot them down as quick as I can, so it's not really in sight.
That's yeah.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg. One of the little things I want to talk about is vacations, man. Like, have you taken any vacations this summer?
Yeah, we just went on one. Like my whole family, we just went on one. We every year, they rent these cabins. We pitch in, my sisters and I, and yeah, it's nice. It's always a real chill like vacation. Everybody gets their own room, their own space and stuff, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Getting the pool or not.
Where's it out at?
It's man, I always forget what it's called. It's not Marble Falls, but it's
not Marble Falls.
I know it's not. It's in Burnett. They're like
Okay.
it's like a log cabin place, and it's right there on the lake river. Or I guess it looks like a river.
Where's Barnett or Burnett? Where's that
Burnett.
at?
It's about 20 minutes from Marble Falls.
Marble Falls. Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
at least it's in the same area. Yeah.
ish.
How long
Yeah.
have y'all been doing that?
Um, the first year was when I was actually still with the baby mama. She was pregnant with our daughter. That was the
Oh
first
yeah.
year we went.
So
So
then
yeah,
that's
we
what,
all went
4, 5, 6?
6 years. Jeez, yeah, 6 years, man.
Jeez.
Man, when did
Man,
that
I don't know
happen?
why. I always, every time you bring up Brooklyn, I always think she's 3 years old. I don't know why that's the number in my head every time you're like talking about Brooklyn or like, well, this is
Right.
back when Brooklyn was born. I'm always like, all right, well, Brooklyn's 3, so that means 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
see,
Like,
that's how I'm like with Asher. Like you had him and Oliver so close together. I'm like, oh, like
yeah,
Asher's not a baby anymore.
yeah,
Like,
he's a little toddler, man. He's going hard right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Wants to do everything by himself, unless he asks you, then he wants to.
Is he getting real daring? Does he take after you and like
I
does
don't
he
know.
ever
There's
is he like
there's
rambunctious or
I was mowing the lawn and I have a riding lawnmower and he loves like getting on the riding lawnmower with me. It's funny because the keys to riding lawnmowers it says like not for kids, not a toy. Like don't play around with. But
hey, you want to take the wheel?
yeah, you see dads everywhere. Like if you follow the hashtag or something, like you see dads everywhere where they're like little kids, like driving them around or they're on it driving and like sitting on their dad's lap. So Asher loves just sitting on my lap while we go around the yard. And it's
Heck
funny
yeah.
because I got up pretty early a couple of Sundays ago. And I was like, I'm just gonna mow the lawn because it needs to. It rained a whole lot here. So I go out, I do some weed eating, I do what I can with the weed eating, and then I get in the lawnmower. And it's probably like 7:40, 8 o'clock, and he was still asleep. And then I'm in the backyard, and then I just see him coming out like crying because I'm mowing the lawn without him. He's like running all the way up to the lawnmower. I have headphones on like this, so like I don't hear the lawnmower so much. And like I'm at the edge of the fence. I turn around and I see him like running up to me. He's crying because I'm mowing the lawn without him. But
Yeah, it's like
I
that's our
call it
thing. That's
Pooh Bear. He's running out crying, but he only has a shirt on, so he's just out there swinging around like pantless, completely pantless, just like
dude.
crying, saying
No,
like,
yeah, dude. Nothing else
you're
matters.
mowing without me,
Nothing else.
Dad."
That sounds
Man, yeah, I had him go back in the house, put some shoes on, put some pants on, and then he came back out with me. But
See, it's
yeah,
okay
like
because he's 3, but like if he's like 20.
he's like 25 running outside like that. Yeah, yeah, that's a no. Somebody call the police.
What the heck, Dad? Hey, go back and
Dude, we're going to Disney World this week. Or yeah, Saturday. We're gonna take off
I
driving.
saw that. I saw it. Well, I don't know when you said it was good, but like I saw something you now or you said that you were getting ready for going,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
told me or
be
something like that.
it's gonna be a
Disney,
trip.
Florida, or Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah, Orlando, Florida. It's weird. Like I remember going with my family when I was a teenager. I think I was in high school or going to high school. We went to California. And I remember like everybody hated that trip. Like I remember driving, like I remember nobody was happy like during the drive. Like that's what I
Oh, dude,
remember.
that's almost always the case, bro. The trip is always like the part for no reason, dude. Like everybody just wakes up pissed off, dude. Like,
Everybody's salty. Yeah. Like dads want to get up like at 4 to start driving.
now
Moms just want everybody to get along.
it's worse when like you're packing to leave and it's that you're
Oh
trying to leave because
man.
there's nothing to look forward to. I just want to go home.
Or if nobody packs and then you're about to leave and then everybody's starting to pack at the time, like y'all are supposed to leave at 9 and everybody's packing at 8 and everybody starts getting upset. Yeah, like no ways around it. Like I don't remember the travel in that trip being fun at all. Like everybody was like
There's that, yeah.
at each
It's
other's
just quiet.
throats.
It's just quiet for a few hours. Like once you finally get in the car, just quiet or like awkward silence or
I
just
don't
silence, like
know.
everybody wants to tune out. At least now we could like, yeah, so I'll put on my headphones and be all right, I'm out. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to and not looking forward to that. Like I don't me and Betty don't want to see the kids just completely like on technology the whole time, but also we don't want everybody to have a bad time. So I think we're gonna try to like get a good, you know what I
yeah.
mean? You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about because I'll try to limit, but then like so because I limit, it frees me up to okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead because daddy needs daddy needs to like yeah, I need a break or something. But
How much
nah,
like iPad computer time you get, Brooke?
you know what? I don't time it, but like
Well,
I time it.
how old is Brooklyn, I guess, for anybody listening?
She's 5. She's 5. She's 5. She's about to start school. Oh my gosh. Um, and yeah, when it comes to like she doesn't even she cries because like her cousin has an iPad and or whatever, and she was crying actually today that she doesn't have one. I'm like, well, that's not
Mm,
you're not always gonna have what the other kids are gonna
yeah.
have. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like it. And I have 2 phones. Like I can literally let her use one, and it
Yeah.
has like 30 games on it for her. And yeah, I just try to limit. Like if I feel like all right, it's already been like let's say an hour or at the most like 2, and be like, okay, yeah, that's enough. And she gets bored before I even get to that point anyway. So that's pretty good. She's always liked interaction more. Like I'd be a bad father, be like, just go play on the phone or whatever.
Yeah.
But like she could really, she likes it and all, but like, yeah, no, she at some point she gets bored of that even, you
Yeah.
know.
Man. Yeah,
So that's
with
pretty
like
good.
Asher and Cindy, like we have Cindy's got an iPhone, so she's got like an Apple account because we have an iPad here. So we use like that time lock on it. So if she goes over 2 hours on an app a day, that's allowed. Like she has to request more time. Like so every day in the summer, we'll get hit with like a requesting more time for like YouTube. Like there's times where like if you're requesting it like at 8 or 9, because I think at 9 o'clock like it automatically shuts off during the summer. I think it's
Yeah.
7:30 during the school.
Oh,
Like
see, yeah,
yeah,
you're for real. Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Well,
for
I
real.
mean, it's a great tool. Like if you're familiar with technology, I can see how it's kind of hard if you're not, because like trying to oversee so much. So just like automatic, like during school, automatically 7:30, like phone shuts off. You can text or call only people that like the parent allows. So like it becomes a brick at 7:30. She can listen to yeah, she can listen to books and like audiobooks, and that's it. So yeah, so
Wow.
it's cool because
Yeah.
like you don't have to constantly stay on it. And then if she is wanting to do something on it, like let's say she takes it for the weekend and stays with her bio dad, like if she stays up there and she wants to request more time, like we'll see that ding like during the weekends or on the summer. All right, cool, we'll approve more time because we know she's going to stay up way past bedtime over there. It's just you have
But if
more
she gets
control.
bored, she has the option to. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
can
so
read a
she can
book.
request it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's crazy. One of the things, man, I wonder. I had took some screenshots of this when I had posted this on my Instagram a while back because I wanted to do it for an episode, and now we're here. I want to talk relationships, and
Oh boy.
I put out if anybody had some relationship advice, and I know I got a couple of dings on it, and I wanted to bring up a few of them. And let me see. So, what would be your advice on relationships?
um, in terms of what? Like, okay,
Like, if
that's pretty.
someone's just asking
That's a.
you, like, "Hey, I need some relationship advice," what would you give them?
Let me see. I know there's a good one here because I've had my share of experiences in relationships.
Yeah,
uh, well, one of them is like definitely like without it sounding too lame, but like pick your battles, I guess, because I've been in, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't by battles, I don't mean like you're fighting, but it's more like, know when to like bite your tongue, and then also know when to not be like overly honest about stuff, because
Okay.
yeah.
So what do you mean like biting your tongue?
um this I could say I've only really been in this like one relationship where it got really tense and really like, and because I don't want it to sound like I have all this string of like, bad relationships or whatever, but one that I was in that was bad. Like that's where I got that lesson. Like, yeah, pick your battles, because it's like, you might find yourself with somebody who is just always at odds with you. You know what I mean? It always seems to be that way. And then so like you can, both of y'all can be guilty of falling into this thing where you're just always, even if you're not taking shots at each other, it feels like you're taking shots at each other. And it's like just things like that. It's like, all right, like I could say something sarcastic right now, but maybe I shouldn't. stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like if you're with the right person, that's not going to happen a whole lot. You're not going to try to spite them a lot. And you know what I mean? It was usually because like you feel spited, so like you're just kind of in this cycle, this back and forth kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like usually when I hear the question like, "Hey, do you have any kind of like relationship advice?" My big thing is usually like communication. That's usually my answer. Like if you two have like a good solid foundation on communication, like overall it'll get better. And I cannot find these. Oh, I have. Ooh, look, I have one
Yeah.
here. I have
See, that was a good
Corey.
one.
Yeah. So I
I
mean
should have
that's
thought about
that's
that.
mine. So I got Corey Holcomb. He says find ways to make time for each other.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and and I'll screenshot these and
yeah.
put these on there. I got Kevin 004 admitting she's right when in fact she's not right. Crucial. And so that was
Oh, see that?
that kind of goes in a little bit on what you were saying. I
Well,
have the heart of
yeah.
military lives. Share your expectations with your significant other so you guys are on the same page. Communication key. And I'll put these up here in way better screen grabs.
Communication is freaking key, dude.
And then
Yes.
I have the Gabrielle Marie that says communicate as well too. So like I had a lot of people like that were posting that like communication, the communication
Dude,
part.
yeah.
And so
It's it
I agree like about that. Like communication I think is the biggest, if not one of the biggest keys for a successful relationship. What I want to talk about though, relationship wise, is all the other relationships that we have that we don't even think about. Not just like our spouse or our significant other. I want to talk about other ones.
like any
So
kind of yeah,
yeah, so this
friendships
is
and
kind
all
of like
that
a
type
game
of thing.
changer, not just hey relationships, but and I want to see too because I've been thinking about this one for a while. Is we also have all these other relationships as well too. We have friends, family, church, coworkers, all these kinds of people that we communicate on like a daily, monthly, weekly basis, but we tend to forget those small things because like let's just take for instance like work, like when you're working with someone, if you're not communicating with them, like
Oh, dude,
how is that
yeah, like
relationship going to work then?
mhm.
You know what I mean?
It-
So like at
yeah.
work, when you communicate with people, is it similar to when you're communicating with somebody like in your family?
I think there's levels. You opened up a lot of like ideas when you said that, because it's like, yeah, there's levels. So you got your, and everybody's different. People are gonna hold different people in higher regards or close, you know what I mean, when it comes to, how much they value that. And like we don't even realize, when it comes to like that, it's communication that we're doing, because it's such a broad, thing, but it's also like it's like important with anything. It's like nothing's gonna click right if you're not, communicate what goal you're trying to reach. You're trying to find like a solution or like an answer or like an agreement at least,
Yeah.
and yeah, like me, like, oh man, like I need communication. And when it comes like, I need to know how how everything is, like, yeah, there's a lot of reassurance and there's also a lot of trust too. And then when it comes to like relationship, it's like we hold it like way over here, you know, because it's
Yeah.
like the only it's a one thing. We have all kinds of relationships with all these dozens of people over here, but this is like it becomes like, you know, it becomes super important to, I mean,
And that's crazy.
obviously.
That's crazy, right? Like, so why that one? I'm not saying it shouldn't be. Like, that's the most important relationship that you should have, right? It's with your significant. In my eyes, it's with your significant others, and
Yeah,
then it would be with you. Like, this is my like hierarchy. It's
like
like that relationship is gonna be with your significant other, then with your children, then with friends, coworkers, and then it goes on. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see
family.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I don't even think I'd be a successful communicator with my children if I wasn't able to communicate or have a successful relationship with
yeah,
my significant other. I
yeah.
mean,
That you could
in
have
your
come from a
case,
household.
in your case, it would even be with baby mama. Because if you're not communicating with her well, like how can both of y'all communicate with Brooke well? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's how I look at it. And even then, like doing relationships with like coworkers, friends, and family, how can you have a successful relationship with your significant other if in fact you don't have successful relationships with friends and family?
yeah,
I
yeah. It's
don't
like
think it's possible. If you treat
well,
everybody like garbage and then the person that you are with and you're calling them your significant other, like to me, chances
so,
are
so
you're probably going to treat them
some
like
people lack the skills for it. Like some people are like, you know, and everybody's different. Like I said, we don't even realize it's communication that is the key. You know, we could come from like a messed up home where that was never even talked about, and you know, everybody could just be like rude to each other all the time. So then you kind of go through like, not like a bad part, like not that that's going to make you, you know, but you know, it might be, I would see how it might be more difficult to like develop certain relationships with people. A lot of people have that problem because either they can't communicate or they got a wall or something. You know what I mean? Because a lot of
yeah,
people, oh boy, yeah, a lot of people got a big old wall, and that goes back to trust. That goes back to somebody whom, you know, in their past, you know, didn't communicate with them properly, and yeah, you know, it messes a lot of people up. There's a lot because trust goes hand in hand with communication. It
would
goes,
you
it's
would you want to be with somebody that's that messed up?
I've been with somebody, and it's so weird that you say that because like uh there's a sense of, and I think a lot of people get fall into this, like you want to help that person even though even though you know you and that person are just no good for each other. Like you convince yourself that you both need each other. Like I've been in that, you know, you convince yourself
Yeah,
like, man, I need her and she needs me. And like, and people way worse extremes too, because it really wasn't like, you know, I don't, yeah, it was bad, but there's people way worse situations where they think that how crazy and messed up their relationship is. Some people are drawn to that, and they think that that's why,
well,
like, yeah,
like
ride or die. That
is that is that like music, TV industry, and all that like showing us? Because like my wife brings that up like pretty often. Like the society that we live in kind of like feeds off of that. Like you see movies, you see television shows full of drama. Like that's what everybody's
it's
addicted
art
to.
imitating life though. But see, that's what it is. It's art
Yeah.
imitating life. People like to sit down and watch, you know, um I don't know what's a real messed up show or something. I don't know. Like they want to watch something. I think I heard it on a documentary. They were talking about Married with Children. It's an old show, but Married with Children was one of those first shows that showed like a dysfunctional family. But
Yeah.
but they said that like people like watching it because they could sit down and be like, hey, well, at least we're not them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? At least
Yeah.
that's not us. And even though it's probably, you know, quite the opposite with a lot of people, or
Yeah.
they're even worse.
I mean, have you seen that there's a new show on Netflix called Sexy Beast? And they dress it's a dating show, like one guy or girl.
I think I
One
know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
one
It's like
so
a
the
blind
premise of
date.
the show is a blind date, literally. So they get like sci-fi, like really intense face makeup, and they
Right,
paint
like
it
real
so.
heavy makeup, so
Yeah,
that way
so there was
there's
the I think one of the first episodes, the lady is like she's a demon, so you can't make out anything about her face.
you have to go
They like
just
paint their
by
whole body, so her whole body is painted red. She's a demon, and then she's dating different people, right? And so the guys are like, I don't know, I'm gonna mess it all up. So like one of there's another one where like a guy's a beaver. You cannot see his face, but there's a guy who's a mouse, a guy who's a sculpture, and then a guy who's something else, right? And so you can't see their face at all, and they're going through and they're dating. This is what I picked up when I was like, because me and Betty saw a couple of the dates. We were looking through it, and she's going out with the speed date. First round's a speed date before they kick someone out, and she's dating this guy. I don't know. It was a gosh, I don't know what he was. He was a mouse or something. One of the guys she's dating, and she's like, "Well, how loyal are you?" And Betty's like, "Ooh, that's a really good question." He's like, how loyal am I? It depends. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on the situation, like how into you I am." And that was his answer. It was something like, it wasn't something saying like, "Yes, I am loyal." Like if we're together, that was not his answer was far from that. And
was that a bad answer? I mean, was that just like a guy answer? Like,
well, whatever it was, like, was it an honest answer? Like, it probably was, right? Saying that, hey, he's not faithful, he's
yeah,
not loyal.
because like it's weird when people are like, yeah, you can trust me. Like I don't know that
Yeah,
they,
trust. I mean,
you know,
trust is built,
like,
though. Like, you earn
but it's like
trust.
saying that, yeah, it's like, are you loyal? Well, like if I'm,
It's like
you know what I
Loki.
mean?
You can
It,
trust me.
it's like
Like,
if I'm not, I mean, like, yeah, like, yeah, I'm so loyal. I guess I get it because I would be like, yeah, I think I do picture myself like loyal. Like I'm too like
right.
I don't
So,
know, dude. Like
regardless,
I've been
like
in situation.
the dates go on, everything goes on, and so check this out at the end. Because Betty's like, "What kind of answer is that?" Like, he's telling you that he's not going to be loyal to you, and then at the end of it, she ends up picking the guy who answered that way. And I was like, she's like, "How'd you know she was going to pick him?" I was like, because like these shows are all
He was
built on,
honest.
like the drama stuff, and like the one guy is like saying that, oh, obviously there's going to be drama, like you said, like art imitates life, or what life imitates art. Like,
But it's just the cycle.
man, yeah. And so I don't know. The more we start like seeing that in music, TV shows, whatever it is, like the more and more I think that just feeds into society and like our own delusions, or our own society and culture that we make of it. So getting away from all that is good. Like, it's good to like be in it and around it sometimes, but to take it in and like be all about that life is, I mean, it can be detrimental, I think, especially to a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
relationships.
and
'Cause
not everybody wants that. Yeah, either not everybody wants that, or um, they some people for the life of them they can't, like they keep winding up with it. That's all I was about to say because like I, I've I was never super like drawn to like for the lack of somebody who has like a lot of issues and stuff like that, but you know there is I can definitely see a part of me that like it sounds so lame. It's like, oh, I want to help, but it's kind of like a nurturing thing, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
convince yourself that, yeah, because I've been in situations where like didn't get very far, but like talking to a girl and I come to find like she shares a lot of similarities, with like you know she, somebody I've been with in the past. I'm like, oh man, do I want to do that again?
do I want to go through it again?
Like, but on that same token, you can't just assume, oh, it's gonna be just like that. It's like,
Yeah, you
nah,
can't.
like it,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's not. It was irrelevant. It was always something that was irrelevant to me. It's like, yeah, like if it's it's like anything else. You learn things about somebody, and then if you find out that they're not good for you, or dangerous for you, or whatever, or you're not good for each other.
Do you think people can change?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen people change, you know what I mean? But it's not
There's a but.
because it's not because somebody else changed them. It's usually like they have to bring, like nobody changes, like they're the one who get the final say and like the
I
final
think people can change
action.
people.
I mean, people can. I mean, you can help chip away. You can help maybe like guide them or help whatever. But it's like it's always like
Well, you want me to give you an instance? I think
uh,
I
uh,
think Brooklyn changed you.
I'll obviously that.
Yeah,
Well,
but I mean, she's a person. It's a
mhm,
relationship.
yeah.
I think
Change me how?
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we overlook these other relationships that we just have, whether it's like your sisters, your mother, your coworker, a friend, a family friend. Like, I think those do impact who we are, like quite a bit. I tell you, once I started hanging around a different set of people that I can feel that they genuinely cared about me and my family, like things started changing for us too.
Some
Just
people become like family, like friends. Yeah,
yeah,
because I have friends like that too. Where like, yeah, and it didn't matter what kind of background they came from whatever reason, we like you click with these people and like they stay in your life. You know that's
yeah.
what it is. It's
If
like you don't
there's a
you don't
podcast
decide like,
called
oh,
Bigger
I want you
Pockets
to.
podcast, and one of the things they talk about too, like for real estate and all this stuff and investing, they say like, hey, when I started, like I was a one. If you want to be like a 10, who's like super knowledgeable and like knows everybody and like is on their game, like you can't just be a one and hang out with a 10. If you're a one, you got to start hanging out with twos and threes. Once you become a two and a three, you got to start hanging out with fours and fives. Once you're a five, start hanging out with six and sevens. And like that is also how it is in like regular circles that you run around in. Like if you're just a mean person,
Well,
you stay hanging out with
well,
mean people, like that's what you're gonna end
well,
up
see, but
being.
see but see that. Okay, so what about this though? Like, what if you know? Because some people have their issues or whatever. So it's like, but I come to find that uh there I'm not gonna say oh there's good in everybody, but at least like with the people that like I said, I got friends from all different kinds of backgrounds. And you could say, oh, that they might be from a broken home, these friends, and then these friends could be, you know what I mean? And like they all have like their flaws or whatever, like on the surface. But when you've known somebody for 10, 12, 15 years, you see the good in them. You know what I mean? Because like believe me, I've known people long enough to see their good sides and their bad sides, and most of the time people genuinely have like they want to, you know what I mean, despite any other kind of like people usually have like good intentions, that's my experience. I use, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's always that too. And like I've always, and that's kind of what I like. I've always vibed with people from different types of backgrounds. Like I like, I'm a people person. I like, making friends. And it's like, yeah, you don't decide, oh, I want you to be in my life and be my friend forever. But you don't just say that to somebody. Like, you don't know. It just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's like,
Well,
oh
I
damn,
mean,
we've known each other
that's
for
one
how
thing
long
too.
now?
Like people that are saying that they're good people, they're genuine people, and then they aren't willing to talk to somebody who's like a different, like a person of color, or they don't talk to a person of color the same as they would in
Or
like
or or, or
somebody in
from
their
a or
group.
from an urban area.
Yeah. Going all Walmart from an urban area perspective. Yeah, I mean, I've met people like that too. I've met people that still, even in like a coworker environment or a
there,
working
there, there,
environment, they
there's a
talk to
saying.
they
There's
talk to
that
me kind of
phrase.
awkwardly.
There's that phrase they call salt of the earth. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
that could be anybody. That could be anybody. Like that's
yeah.
what I like about that. Yeah.
Well, I've always carried myself. When I was a kid, I had a family friend who we just call Uncle Marcel, and I know you're familiar with him. And
Yeah.
very early on, like when he would talk about his military career, I think he only did 4 years, but he would talk about it, and I remember distinctly like basic training when he would talk about basic training that people, and this is a common thing with the military when people say like I would have joined, or yeah, I was about to join but I couldn't for whatever reason. They say like, oh, if somebody's yelling in my face, like I couldn't take that, I would have to knock. Like, that's a common thing that like people always hear when somebody's going to join the military or was going to join the military. But he would bring up and say like, hey, they're not yelling at you, but they're speaking very loud in your face, and they don't want you to disrespect them, but I mean, you have to talk to them in the same kind of like at the highest that you can
You got
when
to
they're
meet them
talking
at
to
their
you.
level. Yeah,
Yeah, and like not disrespectfully.
you want to
So
be like affirmative and like, yeah.
yeah, because at the end of the day, they actually are still a person. And I've agreed with that. And even through basic training, when I went back in 2010, I treated them the same way. And then I've never really had like a fear of like an authority figure in that manner because like we're all people.
Yeah.
So I've never like felt like
Was
anxious.
anybody ever not like that? Did anybody ever, any of the drill
Oh
instructors or anything
yeah,
like
there
that
were
have like a,
people.
like this, like no
Yeah.
cap? Just, yeah.
Yeah, there were people like that were trying to get at the drill sergeants or people that would like flinch at them or whatever, and they would be gone. There was, gosh, I've never been anxious or like nervous around any kind of authority figure. I've always treated them like the way I would want to be treated. And like I take that to everybody. Like I've I've stopped. I've already lost count how many times like I've just pulled over on the side of the road and picked somebody up and given them a ride. Um, man, a few. I think we moved in here. It was. I was trying to get a new toolbox for my truck, so I found one on OfferUp. I was going to trade my old one, and I went for a drive. And as I went for a drive, I took Asher with me. It was raining like crazy. We stop at the Shell. I get the new toolbox. Asher's in the truck. We're driving back, and I see this guy like walking down this road, and it was a long road. And I'm like, dude, that guy's got at least like 2 miles to go wherever he's going. Like, let me just circle back. And Asher's like, what are we doing? And I pick him up, and I was like, where you going, man? He's like, just down the road right there. I was like, let me get you there, man, because it's like pouring. And this guy is definitely like, I wouldn't say he's homeless, but he's not dressed like well. He's not dressed nicely. Like things are kind of worn. His face is like mine, kind of scraggly. He's got long hair. I dropped him off at a mobile home park, and I'm not sure if anybody was even there. But when I was talking to him, said that he was trying to see one of his kids, but he didn't have enough money or bus fare or something. It was a while ago, but I drop him
Hmm.
off, and like the conversations that I have is conversations like this. Like I still talk to somebody like I'm talking to you. Like there's not going to be a change in the way I'm talking to somebody because they're a CEO of a corporation or they're the president of a business that we work with, or if it's the janitor, you know, at a school.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm talking to
Yeah.
everybody the same, and I've
In
always.
terms of like, in terms of respect and in terms of like, yeah, like we're on, you know, right now in this
Yeah.
conversation, we're on the
I
same.
mean, even
Yeah.
even if you disrespect someone, like you don't have to talk to them in in a horrible manner, which like that's something that I think is big too, because like that goes back to a relationship. Like even if I don't like you at all, Chris, like I'm still gonna talk to you. And like we're gonna get this
Oh damn.
communication over with, like because I need to talk to you, I need to give you information for whatever it is, and then we're gonna go about our business. But like I see no point into just aggressively, berating somebody just because you don't like them for whatever reason, whether it be
Yeah.
somebody like that's going against your values, your religion, your morals, whatever it is, like your family too. Like it doesn't have to be that way too. And I don't know. I don't see the point of it
Well,
unless
I'm glad you
somebody's
called me. I'm glad you called me for no reason because now I was starting to wonder.
brought to you by Coke. Hey, so do you have anything I know you're starting? Did you already start your own podcast, or you're starting your own podcast?
I need to upload the first episode. We talked about breakups. It's such a like it's weird like when you talk, because I know you were talking about all kinds of relationships, but like, yeah, like that seems to be like a really good topic to open things up for like anybody. There's so many stories and things that could be told. Like it's good to stay on that sort of lane. That's not where it's gonna go, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I want some different episodes. I want to be able to talk about just something different maybe each episode, and it doesn't have to be Oh, we already talked about that. We can't talk about that. We can talk. Yeah, we can talk
Yeah.
about whatever. Yeah, and we got off to a real good start. My buddy Anthony, you did a show with him. He's I did a show with him too. His spaghetti at my house,
Yeah.
and I've known
Anthony Lopez.
Anthony. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's one of my best friends ever. I've known him for 15 years, maybe more, like 16, 17, something like
Yeah.
that. More like,
Plus
and
the Brooklyn 3 years would be.
it, yeah. Oh yeah, we're still 2018 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it helped to get things really loose and like, yeah, like we had a real good thing going on, man. Like, so I'm being that I did that, I don't want to just do that and be like, nah, like this is a good start. This is a good way to get the ball rolling
Yeah.
because there was no ball till like a week and a half ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're good. I mean, I just got to upload it. It came out really bad, or not really bad with the audio. You couldn't hear it because I had my condenser mic turned all the way down. Because normally I use it for the drums. That's another thing too. Got to do some drum covers, but
Yeah.
yeah. I like talking too.
Well, you're in a new place now, right? You got your own place.
Yeah, I got my own place. I could set up and do that. I did a personal podcast in this exact setup I have right now. It was
Yeah.
just a one off, and I'm hoping I could do more of those because I was really loose. Like it's hard to, which is, I'm sure like you got to get yourself like in the zone if you're doing one by yourself, especially. Like, you don't want to be all flat and dry.
I just talk about
I
whatever
had
you
to
got,
I had to be
man.
like, all right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like not having a script because you don't have to put that much work into it. And then also, I think if you just leave it a hobby, it'll go good by itself. I think the more
And
work you put into it, obviously the better it's going to be. You get more repetitions in, comes muscle memory.
yeah, exactly, and that's what it is too, man. I want to be able to document my thoughts. You know what I mean? At first I thought writing it, I was like, well, I can always write, but like it's I'm really good with talking and telling stories like that. I do
Yeah.
like the idea what you said, the little idea pack, because like just in case you find yourself where like, okay, maybe it's a little quiet and you're like, okay, what's the next subject? Boom, you just got it right there. That's what Anthony
Yeah.
He does that too, like a little.
Well, I know that this is like stuff that's been on my mind. I usually put it here like because I want it somewhere in an episode. But I don't have like a long drawn out, hey, these are some questions that like I want to go over. It's kind of like whatever.
No,
comes to mind,
exactly, because
too.
at that point it gets a little robotic. You're like, okay, so now we're gonna, yeah, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, it's usually just, I mean, this is your third podcast with me being on the OK Dad
Hey,
podcast. So
that's what's up.
3-peat
All right.
and LeBron James and Chris Bosh over here.
Well, he's
So
got four
have
now.
you seen the new Space Jam movie?
I have not, and I'm not opposed to seeing it. What is it? Mixed? Is it mixed?
You know
Like,
what? I'm probably gonna take off a lot.
you
of
like
people.
everything.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, yeah, the list of movies that I haven't liked in the past 5 years is very short. I can tell you what's on it. The Lion King,
Oh, the new one, you mean?
the reboot of The Lion King. Yeah, the live action Lion King. That's on my list of like, I'll give it a 70.
There's a reason I didn't like that one. I mean,
Yeah.
and I didn't not like the whole thing, but what I didn't like was when they try to use like the same lines, which every line that they used that was in the original movie hit harder from the original. And I'm not saying that because of bias. Like it really sounded like
But you're
it
like
was.
an 80s baby. You're like a millennial. So
No,
it is biased. No matter what you say, it's biased.
dude. Like literally, when like Mufasa's saying something in this first movie, he says it with all this vigor, and he sounds like he's like ready to fall asleep in the second one when he says it. Like that. That's what I'm hearing. That's just.
Well, I'm a
He's
a
like,
fan.
I'm 90. I'm tired of this.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun during it. I even went back. I didn't watch the whole thing again,
What
but I went
was there
back
some
and maybe
cringe
about
parts?
40 minutes in, and then I watched that for 40 minutes. I saw the whole thing one time, and then I went back and saw it like 40 minutes in and then on. And it's pretty like from 40 minutes on, I feel like it's pretty exciting. Like I like it. It's good.
I think it's easy to get into most storylines. I haven't seen Space Jam, but I've seen LeBron act, and he's not a bad actor. You know,
I
I've
mean,
seen
I've
him in
seen his
that.
like little cameos in
There's like
some.
other movies that he's there's like, well,
Yeah.
there's that one movie that he's in, and he's in a good chunk of it.
What
He
movie?
was actually,
He's in that Amy Schumer movie, which
that's the one. Yeah, it's called Trainwreck. It wasn't bad. Like I thought,
where
I was like,
LeBron's like, oh, I forgot my check.
and that's because like I'm not a hater, but like I'm not a big old LeBron fan, but I'll be like, yeah, he's good, and I'll be like, okay, he's a good actor too. I guess he's okay. I mean, for him not knowing anything about it,
I mean,
he's
for him
pretty
being an NBA player,
right.
he's not a bad
Exactly.
actor.
Yeah,
And like,
you're
I
never gonna
don't.
see Shaq. You're
If
never gonna
you,
see Shaq in a movie again and be like, yeah,
I mean, Shaq's in a couple of movies, isn't he?
as
Like
charismatic. Yeah,
Shaq and Jordan are as good as an
you're
NBA
okay.
yet. I
Okay, well,
think.
you're never gonna see Tim Duncan in a movie.
Yeah. I don't think. I think LeBron will take him all day and like acting. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was a fan. I wasn't not a fan. I was happy with it. I wasn't like
do,
this is the best movie ever, but
do you ever see scenes that like are just cringy? Like, oh man, did they really do that? Like, because I
in
feel like
Space
that
Jam,
puts a lot of, yeah, I feel like that puts a lot of people off. Like if there's a really, like if it's cringy, or if it's like you could tell it's only for the kids, and it's usually a bad attempt to make kids laugh or something. I don't know,
well, I
but
mean, if you think about it, the whole movie's meant for kids. It's not meant for 30-year-olds. Like it's
it
meant
is,
for
because they're
kids to
putting
go.
all these like references. They're putting all these like old cartoon
Yeah,
references
I
and
mean,
stuff,
if you
and
look at
that looked cool. That looks
if you
cool
look
to
at
me. Like,
the shows in the 90s and 2000s, like there was a lot of references for adults as well too. We just didn't know about it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
Speedy
mean,
Gonzalez. Like
I see about that.
I didn't even know Slowpoke Rodriguez was drunk until like I don't know how. I think I was talking to Betty about it. And she was like, yeah, and then Slowpoke Rodriguez is the wino. And I was like, what? What do you mean he's a wino?
Oh,
She's
they
like,
actually like
yeah, she's like,
illustrated
he's
that.
the drunk. That's why he's slow. And like my mind was blown. I did not know that Slowpoke Rodriguez was a drunk. I just thought he was slow because that's his name, Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Right? Yeah, because
And
he's the
yeah,
opposite of Speedy. Yes, that's what I thought. So I thought
yep,
that too. It's like
yep. I
Speedy
never
Gonzalez.
like boom out of my mind. Like I didn't even think about it.
Wow.
So like if you start going back, like I mean, there's threads on Reddit and stuff everywhere about the shows and like everything that you missed.
That's cool. Yeah, I do like stuff like that. I would watch it. Like, I'm not ready to pay money for it, but I would I
I
would
mean,
watch it.
yeah, it's free right now on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max,
Oh,
go check it out. I think
I
it's
need
a
to
good
get it. Yeah.
hour and a half. I don't know, man. So you got any more? You got any more plans coming up? Anything big going?
No, not really. The summer's pretty much wrapped up. I don't got anything lined up. Everybody seems to be talking about how we're gonna supposed to supposedly going back into lockdown. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
not.
that yeah.
I don't got nothing lined up. Yeah, like Brooklyn's starting school. Probably just gonna work more. I feel kind of that's gonna be a big thing. That's the next big jump from her being a baby, from her being 3 to now she's going to school. So
Yeah.
it's kind of heavy
She
on
gonna
me
be
right now.
6 or 5?
She's gonna be 6 in November. It's heavy, dude. It's heavy. Yeah, it's fast.
Dude, that's quick.
So, and she was supposed to go last year too, but then
Yeah.
all this happened. So,
Have you thought about homeschooling?
me and her mom talked about not homeschooling. She said something about remote learning, but I don't know about that. I don't know.
Mhm.
I really don't. Yeah, but
I feel like
home.
it was remote learning was so hard on Cindy. I didn't like it. I don't know her production level or what she was learning. It went down, but also if you're there while they're remote learning, I think you can see it's. I mean, she's in middle school too, so if you're a teacher trying to remote like 20 plus students 7 times a day, and then there's
Yeah.
6 that are
Oh,
in
dude,
classroom, like it's
that's hard
brutal.
enough in person. That's hard enough in person.
Yeah.
Like, dude, yeah, like I was a kid that always kind of lagged behind when it came to stuff like that. And I mean, and every kid now is different. You don't have to have a disability to, just yeah, like it's it's always the one method they use for all 30 kids, in the classrooms. It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
yeah.
even
And
now
so,
we know there's so many better ways
see, I
to
like
go
the
about
idea of
and
homeschool.
learn.
I like the idea of homeschool because, yeah, it broadens up your options, because,
It's
like,
just so it's
yeah,
so difficult to teach, 30 plus 20, 30 plus kids depending on what district you're in. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and like this was a rough year for them. They were just like, we're trying to get through it. We're trying to get through it. Like there's only so much you
yeah,
can do. There's one of our friends is a teacher, and there's one kid that was remote learning. He didn't turn in a single homework, a single assignment. He had zeros for everything. And the parents were like, "No, we're turning everything in." We're like, "What?" Like there's not much you can do like during the pandemic and stuff. So like this, sad thing is like there's how many children across the country are suffering from stuff like that because it's hard. Like even in like during a pandemic, like how do you go check? Like how do you do wellness checks on like children that are in similar situations or worse situations? I know some districts were like delivering meals or not delivering. I don't know. That'd be cool if they were, but they had it to where you can pick up meals. Like that was really good. At least that program got to keep going. Some
yeah.
people were hit hard during it. I
As
think
I was
I
saying,
think
and
overall everything's starting to bounce back. Here they're starting
that's
to
sure
bounce
what
back.
what it seems like. But
I know my
I
work my work changed its minimum wage across the country to $15 an hour. So if you start at the very lowest level at my work, it's $15 an hour. Starting.
where can I apply?
Yeah, every 3 months, depending on what role you're in, you can get either a 25-cent increase every 3 months, or you can get a 50-cent increase every 3 months.
So that's like a
Depending on
dollar a year.
yeah, it's $1 a year, or if you're in I think it's 2 roles above that, it's $2 a year. You can potentially increase your hourly wage. That's big, dude. That's real big. So like if we're doing that, like other countries, I think I even tried to recruit someone from like a Target parking lot. I'm like, "Hey man, I see you busting like going hard. Like here's my card, like apply here." And he's like,
Yeah.
I tell him like, "Yeah, we're starting at $15 an hour." And he's like, "Oh, that's what they're starting here." And I was like, "Really? Like they're starting you here at
What?
15?" I was like, "Okay, like places are getting
Jeez.
competitive now, man. Like that's a good sign." Great.
Yeah.
Like companies are at least paying livable wages now.
I got a little bit of a bump, which is,
Bumped
yeah,
up.
everybody's, yeah. So you heard everybody did, all the restaurants and stuff. Yeah, they're bumping everybody, but not to 15.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get there someday, but yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully that'll be good. 'Cause, I mean, especially now with like everybody like working and like doing stuff, and I mean,
Oh boy.
I don't know how many people are going to restaurants and like lighting it up, but like dealing with people like that, like that's why I don't like it all. I was in a FedEx and somebody was yelling at the FedEx lady about the mask policy. I'm like, dude, like she didn't make the policy. She's not Mr. FedEx. Like, don't yell at her. Like, don't be
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, see, yeah, that's dumb when, like, oh, like somebody complains about something that's just totally out of our control. It's
Yeah.
like yeah.
Like
What do you
I'm
want?
I'm
What do
all
you want
with it.
from
Like
me?
you can be frustrated at whatever rule you want to be frustrated at, but don't take it on this single person. Like she didn't do this. Like get out of here, dude. And then
Yeah, people tend to do that.
the guy behind him started agreeing with him, like, well, they just said, hey, CDC said this and that. And I'm like, dude, same. Like, then you can walk out the store and do whatever you want. Like, calm down,
Yeah.
dude. You're screaming at this lady here. It's literally not her fault. Like, do your business, then leave. I had to like I had to go pretend to be on the internet too, because like they were yelling at this lady until I was like, dude, you guys need to chill out.
Yeah, that they want somebody to yell at, and they're not even thinking straight enough to, like, dude, this person has nothing to do with.
Go,
You're just ruining someone else's day for no reason.
goes back
And
to
then they're gonna,
relationships, man.
yeah, and then they're gonna go home
Like,
and they're like, yell at their SO.
yeah. And then like at a FedEx, like where they can just the package you're trying to ship, like they can just all right, let me just let me just misplace this package. Like, come on, dude. I don't know. Well, I got nothing else for tonight, man. I think I'm all tuckered out.
No, it's cool. My phone's like on 8% now, dude. So like it's perfect timing.
All right, man. Until next time.
Yes, definitely. It was a good talk, man. Glad to be on again.
Signing off. There you go.
He's really big and he's strong. And he's really mine.
I'm all yours.
And I'm so Scott.